I'm struggling with sleeplessness when I got back. I'm jet lagged. I'll use the Neurosim, and that'll just re-regulate my circadian rhythm and my vagus nerve and calm everything down. Because often a lot of sleeplessness is down to stress or overactive thinking, and really calms it down. So yeah, not an inexpensive way of recovering from something like insomnia, but it's been really helpful for me.
You know what, 30 seconds might not sound much to people where they're thinking, well, he's just getting up for 30 seconds to run. But trust me, I was feeling my legs the last couple of days. I haven't done the run on Friday, I think, or Saturday. And so I think actually, even though I feel like I could run much longer, it's all about the recovery and about protecting the body, not about can I go and run for 20 minutes. I'm sure I could go and run for 20 minutes now, but what would my feet feel like? Good evening, Nick. How you doing?
Good evening, Harry. Yeah, I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm good. You've just come back from Orlando, right?
I have. I got back from Texas, straight off to Orlando, and now I'm back. It's been a whistle-stop tour and back from the States two times over. I've delivered a couple of talks on transformation and leadership, which was quite good and hopefully went down pretty well. And now I'm back, and yeah, I'm in a good spot. A little bit jet lag still, trying to get used to my body's circadian rhythm is completely out, not quite knowing what time zone I'm in. But I've been back for about 48 hours, so yeah,
I saw good. You. Did you get nominated as a top 50 something or other? I saw on LinkedIn today.
I did. I came fourth, which was a bit well. They've put me in fourth place for the most influential HR leader at the moment, which is very nice and unexpected. Right. Thanks to all the content articles and talks I'm doing. It's been noticed and ranked by somebody out there who seems to think it's worthwhile. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, so there's some good people in that list. That's why certainly much, in my opinion, much better than people than I am. But there we are.
Well, you know what? I was talking about you to a friend. Oh, actually, I was talking about you to a company I consult with, who are like a well-being app, and I was talking to them about, maybe you should start a podcast with these. They're based in Greece, but they're English speakers as well, and I'm on the board for their company at the moment, and have been for like last 3 years. And I was talking to them a little bit about you, because I was saying how, you started the L&D and the HR podcast, must be 6-7 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, 2019, I think. Yeah, 6 years ago.
7 years ago, yeah. And it's taken a while, but you are an influential leader in that space because of that and all the other things that you do. You write lots of articles, and you are hence being invited to places like Orlando and Greece, I think you were at, and different places. And I was saying to them, actually, another thing on their plate, that they maybe should start a podcast where they're interviewing people, because also people would prefer to get interviewed than like sold to. So you could, contact the HR people that they're looking to get into, have these conversations with what they're looking for and what challenges they've got, make that into a podcast. And then they, over time, become the go-to people for the well-being side of things.
It's a good strategy. I mean, it's worked for me. It's got me in front of some great people. I've had Stephen Covey on the show. He doesn't get much bigger than that. He wrote Trust and Inspire. Actually, he's been on the show twice. I've had Alan Stein Jr. on the show, who was the coach for, I think it was LeBron James, but an NBA basketball coach. I've had Scottish international rugby captain Alan Nichol on the show, talking about his when he won the Calcutta Cup and leadership and things like that. I've even had an NFL Hall of Famer on the show. So yeah, you get to meet lots of interesting people, and everyone's done different things. I met a guy who is the NFL medical doctor, who's also a first responder in 9/11 on the show. Look, it's good. It just gets you in front of people you don't know and having great conversations. It's a different kind of show to this one, because as you say, it's a guest related show, but sounds like you're giving them good board advice, Harry. So well done.
Well, I'm doing my best with it. And did I see as well recently, were you in Birmingham the other day, or was that?
I was so listen, my it's been whistle stop. I'm looking, I think, way more awake than I'm feeling potentially.
Yeah, you look pretty good.
I'm feeling energized today. I'm in a good spot. Sun is shining, but got back from Orlando at 6:30 a.m. And had a nightmare with the company I used to do the park and hotel. Turned out I booked the hotel at the actual airport, but the car parking was like half an hour or 45 minutes away, which is really frustrating. So I had to go and get the car. And it was in the wrong direction. So I then picked up the car, had a best part of 5 hour drive home, jet lagged, hadn't slept on the plane. So I've been up since the previous day. Stopped at my mum's en route just to have a break on the drive, but got home. That was that day done. Following morning, woke up straight. Me and my daughter Eva went to Birmingham to go and watch a gig. Tyler the Creator sort of a US rapper, and Lil Yachty. I wouldn't say it's necessarily my kind of music, but it was fun when we were there. But we had like gold circle ticket standing, so we were like 3 rows back from the rapper. It was a really good gig, and my daughter was absolutely loving it. So it was a late finish. Hotel in Birmingham. It was a 3-hour drive from my place to Birmingham anyway. So, and then another 3-hour drive back. So I did. I've done 11 hours in the car in 24 hours, having just not slept on a plane back from America. So it's been pretty full on. But I'm not driving anywhere tonight. That's probably why I'm energetic. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to get in my car. I'm here on a podcast with Harry. I can deal with that.
You're doing well. You're doing. I saw the picture and I actually didn't recognize Eva for a second because I think I haven't seen her in person for probably a decade or something. And then I think the last picture I remember seeing on your Instagram, maybe she was like 10 or 12 or something.
Yeah, well, she doesn't like much on social, but I get permission to put that picture on, and she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. We had an amazing time.
Definitely a cross between both of you. I think maybe I see a little bit more Lucy in there, but I'm not sure. I think I see.
I was about to say my looks, Lucy's brains. That's probably a better way around, to be fair. Yeah, no, it's been good. And you know what? In Orlando was great. Gave 2 talks, one on recruitment, one on transformation starts from within, which I think was pretty well received. Give us some of my coaching tools, things we discussed here. You know, when you say yes, what you say no to, the energy audit, all those kind of things, which I got to talk about at a mass scale. We had about 500 people in attendance at the talk, so that was pretty cool. And then I got back and discovered I've got this little, look at that, I'll show it here. I brought it with me. I've got a little award from my under-11s football team saying best coach.
Oh,
it was very cool to come back to. I missed this ceremony because I was in Birmingham. So not necessarily coaching that we talk about, football coaching, but still nice all the same.
It's getting performances out of people, right? And
it's giving value and some fun. And so that was really lovely to come back to. And I've come back with some gadgets, which I thought we could talk about on today's show as well. Anyway, how have you been? Enough about me.
Yeah, I've been well. I'm in London at the moment. I've been here for about a week or so. So my place in Brighton's occupied at the moment. But what I've been experimenting with the last couple of days is to finally start trying to get back to running.
Yes, Harry. I like it.
I've been flip-flopping I used to run. I think the last time I did anything like a 10K was 2010, but the last time I did consistent running was around 2007. So it's actually, believe it or not, 18 years since I've consistently done any running. I'm not yet running. I've decided to go super slow. Like my coaching philosophy often is go slow so you can maintain it. So what I'm doing is what I call a walk plus. So at the moment I've set it to like 30 seconds of running and 30 seconds of walking, but then sometimes instead of the walking I might be doing lunges, or instead of the running I might do high knees or shuttle runs, or like changing direction, sort of things. And then every session, so today I did my second session, which is 35 seconds and 35 seconds. So I've got a little plan out to take me 5-second increments up to a minute, and then 10-second increments in that next bit until I get to that I can run 10 minutes, because once I get to 10 minutes, I'm sure I'll just be able to get to whatever. And the reason I'm going super slow, just so that listeners think, oh, what's going on, is because I am trying it with the barefoot trainers, which I've been wearing as footwear for 10 years. But every time I try and, activate them for running over the years, even though I go super slow, I find that the muscles, the calves, the different joints ache too much. So that's why I thought, 30 seconds might not sound much to people, where they're thinking, well, he's just getting up for 30 seconds to run. But trust me, I was feeling my legs the last couple of days. I haven't done the run on Friday, I think, or Saturday. And so I think actually, even though I feel like I could run much longer, it's all about the recovery and about protecting the body, not about can I go and run for 20 minutes. I'm sure I could go and run for 20 minutes now, but what would my feet feel like? And I still feel my my big toe that I fractured. I still feel inflammatory processes going on there, especially when I'm lunging, but also when I'm walking or running in the woods, because I kind of run in the woods a little bit and I feel that. But what I have felt is, even with the walk plus, right, the walking and the running interspersed, I am coming back feeling like that feeling and that energy that I used to have when I used to run, which honestly I don't really get from many other sports. Even if I'm spinning or cycling like incessantly, it's not the same feeling that I used to get as a runner. So yeah, so that's been quite good.
It'll come though. It takes a little bit of time, I think, for the
I'm
endorphins
getting
to
that
pop.
feeling, even having just done the walk plus. Like, so what I'm saying is, I'm getting that runner's high in a way, even though I'm not really running yet. So I can't wait until I progress to be able to like run confidently for 10, 15 minutes. And also the ultimate goal is, so you know Joe Hine, but I've not seen him for a while. But there's a WhatsApp group in our little group, which is for, I think, a curry night and also like a Sunday run. A lot of them, like my mate Chris and Neil and Joel and Joe, they go running, and I said, like, I'm not ready for that yet, but I want to get to that point where I can go and run comfortably, with these guys. So yeah, so that's been progressing. And then the other thing I've been starting to do, I signed up for a program on like mobility and movement. So I've just noticed that my hips are tighter than they want. And also I've had this weird tightness in my left hip for a couple of years now, which I had a massage the other day, Thai massage, this old Thai woman who I said, look, just give me.
They're pros though, aren't they, man? They're pros. It doesn't matter how little or how old they are, they'll hurt you.
Elbows, and they have a little graph before you go in where you just highlight the parts of the body that have problems and stuff. And so I just said left leg, just focus like 80% of the time on the left leg. And she did. And it was so painful. But I have to say, it improved it, not 100%, but improved it by more than it's felt in a long time. So I've been doing a bit of that. And so hips are feeling a little bit better, but it's only been a few days, which just makes me think, consistently, if I do it for a month, 2 months, 12 weeks, what am I going to feel like? But it's all about, like we say on the show, consistency. Consistency is king when it comes to this stuff. So yeah, that's it really. And then today I did a presentation on sleep, which is good for an executive course that I'm on the faculty for the International Institute of Leadership and Safety Culture. And so that was a nice start to the morning. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to. Well, I've managed to get back in my cold plunge today. I haven't given that up. First day back in at home, and I'm back in the cold water plunging, and I'll keep you posted on how that goes. But I've got a couple of other gadgets while I was away as well. So I've come back with. We were talking about hydrogen water.
Yeah. So now the question I've got.
Purple color is now apparently hydrolyzing the water.
Yeah. So how long do you have to have that on? Because I think they're like 5 minutes or something. It has to be on for 5 minutes.
Three. We'll probably hear it go off while it's here. So you can see it's blue now. Just turned it on. That'll take about 3 minutes probably to hydrolyze.
So as you would expect, I'm doing a bit of research on it before I jump in and buy.
I'm sure you probably are. Yeah. I didn't. I just saw it I think I saw it on Instagram and purchased it before I finished the video.
What's challenging me at the moment is like a lot of these bottles, they may seep other gases into it as well, and depending on the membrane they've got, and so you might get things in there that you don't necessarily want, but also how much you can actually do with it, how long it takes, a bunch of other things that I'm looking at. So yes, I'm doing a bit of research, but I have heard about hydrogen water years ago probably, and over the years different people have approached me with their bottles and whatnot. But the reason it sparked an interest for me today was I think I either heard someone or I came across this idea that hydrogen water might help with vitiligo, which is that skin condition where you whiten your skin a bit, which my brother-in-law is unfortunately suffering with at the moment. And I think it's all connected to it could be connected to like the spine stuff and the neurology of everything, or not, I don't know. But I was thinking, maybe this would be a good thing to try. But some of these bottles, I don't know how much yours was, but the ones I'm looking at are in the like £100-200 range. You probably got one, but yeah, I mean, again, it's like whether this stuff works, the cheaper ones work, or the one I was looking at has had a lot of third-party research and stuff done to it to make sure it does what it says. But
I'll try and track down the brand while we're online and tell you which one I've gone for.
Yeah.
Weirdly, like I like it. As you know, I don't like water. Although I've got better. Look, I've got better. This is one of my gadgets. I'm drinking this every day, which I've got back to, which is a bit of hard work. But I actually prefer the water. After it's been hydrated, for me, it changes the flavor ever so slightly, and I don't know. I just prefer it.
It should help it go into the cells a little bit easier. So for those people that are listening who are like, "What are they talking about?" as far as I understand it, there's a device at the bottom of the bottle, effectively an electrolysis device, which creates there's two electrodes and a positive, negative, I think, and maybe through sending a current through there. So these tend to be rechargeable units. It effectively splits the hydrogen molecules off from the water molecules effectively. So not adding hydrogen to the water, but I think it removes some of the oxygen, if you like. And hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. It's also super tiny, very porous, can get into the cells, cross the blood-brain barrier. It is supposed to help with things like inflammation, maybe even, I think it was something to do. I think there's a website. I think it was hydrogenstudies.com. Thousands and thousands of studies. There's only one on vitiligo in there, but it seemed to be beneficial for vitiligo. So I'm quite excited with it. It's effectively an antioxidant, which is good for neutralizing all the free radicals we get. The challenge is that the bottles are quite small in terms of the volume that they put in those. I think the one I'm looking at, you can actually unscrew it and put it onto a regular bottle. So you can put it onto a 1 litre bottle, for example. And have
don't think you can do that with the one I've got. But
so that's something I'm considering, because in all honesty, if you're getting 300 ml and you're waiting 10 minutes, like I just want to drink.
About 3 minutes. Mine's already done. It's already clicked off. It's like 3 minutes.
Yeah, but then again, it depends on what the parts per million is you get, and all of this other stuff.
I can't remember all that. I mean, to be honest, I got mine because there were reported benefits for two things. It's supposed to be good for inflammation, so it has anti-inflammatory properties, and obviously I get a lot of inflammation. I seem to be injured a lot more, so I thought, well, I prefer the taste, which is the number one thing for me, but I think that's not why I purchased it. It's just something I've discovered since having it, but it's supposed to be good for reducing inflammation, so that would help as I'm getting older. I think ideally it's supposed to be good for the antioxidant effect. I can't say I've necessarily noticed it, but it's supposed to be good for removing the harmful free radicals and things like that. But it's supposed to be good for metabolic health as well. So improving things like cholesterol and things like that. So I just thought, you know what, it may as well. So
I think I'm definitely going to get one at some point once I've done the research on what I do. I mean, I was also looking a while back at this thing called coherent water. So there's all these. I mean, I keep thinking I'm going to have to update the chapter in my book about water, because I've got about 7 different types of water now. At the moment, I have a triple filtered water coming from the tap, well, quadruple filtered really, and an ionizer which elevates the pH. However, I know there's controversy around pH water and all of that. I've actually worked out, I think I've had it about 13 years. I bought it in 2013, that device. It's quite expensive at the time. I think it was £1,500 that I bought it. The screen is bust on it now, so I don't even know if it's working properly. I'm just going to change the filters actually today, I think. And I noticed the difference when I first started drinking it. Now I'm not sure if I would notice it so much. And again, I don't know whether...
Well, and they say salespeople are the easiest people to sell to, and I get sold to all the time. So I mean, I've got a filter again, but I've used the one that Bear Grylls has often seen championing on.
I'm thinking about maybe upgrading.
That's what I've got.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the place.
Super simple to fit, really easy to fit, really easy to use. I don't notice any difference in the flavor. It says it does. It tastes exactly the same to me, and I haven't noticed any variable difference. But I'm sure it's doing its thing. So we have one of those.
I think you definitely want some sort of filtration. Like water is so important, right? Like you see me with bottles all the time. But if you're putting stuff into your body constantly that is suboptimal, maybe it's not harmful, but it's not getting in. Maybe you're drinking tons and tons and you're still thirsty. Maybe
it's chlorine and plastic particles and all sorts that come through the water.
All sorts of things in there, right? And I don't know, they haven't started adding the fluorine yet into the majority of the UK, although there was talk about doing that. I think they've approved doing that. So I think the Bear Grylls one, they've got an attachment now that takes out the fluoride as well. I know my one takes out the fluoride.
Yeah,
I've got like a similar system to the Bear Grylls one. Very easy to fit yourself. You just take the pipes apart and whatever and put a new flexi thing in there. So I've been using that for a long time, and I'm glad I did. But yeah, so interesting, the hydrogen water bottle stuff. I think it's got a lot of potential. I know that in Japan, just like with the pH water, they use hydrogen water, they use hydrogen infusers, all sorts of things like that as medical grade treatments, because they've always been much more into this than in the West. So I'd be curious to know if any listeners have got any experiences and what they noticed with those things. But tell me about the other thing that you got.
Well, I bought something called a hideout. I mean, again, very easy to be sold to, right? I was at a conference, and I've got it's basically an EMS and TENS machine all in one, and I've got like loads of different EMS machines
So
and TENS
tell the
machines.
audience EMS and magnetic stimulation, isn't it? Electromagnetic muscle stimulation. Sorry,
It is.
electromuscle
You used to get
stimulation.
these things years ago, right? Where people like those like ab machines, if you want,
Yeah.
you know, Cristiano Ronaldo abs and things like that. That, by the way, that's not why I've got it. But I've got it because they're basically really good for muscle recovery. So the idea of the device, I've got a little bit here. This is the kind of one that goes on your back. You can see that if you're watching it while I'm listening.
Yeah.
It's like two pads, which you then link to, I guess, electrical current that does certain things. And like a TENS machine, which women use it and during pregnancy, and that it's good for pain relief and also good for recovery. But the idea of this one is it's all wireless. So I've got all these things, but you end up with wires everywhere. And this one, it's got, I'll turn the little device on here if you can see it through the video. You've got like 10 different programs that you can select, all wireless. You've got one that's shiatsu, one that's like cupping, one that's acupuncture, one that's kneading, one's for sport, or yoga, all these different things. But what I like about it is you've got multiple channels. So with these devices, you've got that one that can go on your back, got this one that might see here, probably go on your shoulders, lots of different pads. Depending on where you put the pad, you can assign it a channel. So I can have one doing acupuncture down my spine. I can have one doing shiatsu on the shoulders, another channel doing the bottom of my back. And so far, and I've only bought this while I was away, I got a really good discount because my wife's obviously a massage therapist. So I was able to use a kind of professional discount to get it. Either that or he said I could and gave me his sales pattern and it worked. He was saying retails are $999, and I didn't pay anything like that. But I paid about 300, just over 300 quid for it. But yeah, since I've been using it, I've used it every day since I've had it back. You can use it on the move, so I had it on, and you can have it on in the plane, and you can. It's fully TSA.
With Bluetooth, I take it then to the main device. It must be.
Yeah. It automatically links by channel, so there's no Bluetooth setup you have to do. So I don't actually know, to be honest. It automatically links. Yeah, it must be because it's on channels 1 to 8, and there's no app for it. You just use the device, but it's TSA approved, so you can take it on a plane and do what you want. But yeah, you know what? Since I've used it, I get really bad shoulder pain because of the way I sit at work. And last 2 days, I've been on my laptop and stuff. It's been. I wouldn't say the pain is gone, but it's way, way better than it was.
Yeah. So talking about your shoulder and shoulder pain and back pain, I've got this little low-tech device which you put round your shoulders to remind you. It kind of reminds you to pull this back rather than it does pull you back a little bit as well. I actually don't wear it that often, but I did quite like it. 10 quid, 15 quid, whatever it was.
I think I've got several of those little things hidden away somewhere, which I have best intentions of using, but then I don't wear them.
This is the thing, is that I recently sold my TENS device that I bought really for my dad, which was like I think it was called Revitise or something or other. And you step on it barefoot when you're watching TV, and it was stimulating circulation through his lower leg. So I sold that. Then the other thing I sold, which actually you might have benefited from, and I did meet someone the other day, my sister's friend, who wanted to buy them, but then he never got back to me. But oxygen. So I bought my dad some oxygen probably like 3 years ago when he was having some difficulties. Never used it. And I was chatting to my sister's friend the other day, and he was saying, "Oh no, I use that like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm having that little slump." He has these little oxygen in a can, like not very big.
I mean, I think you mentioned it in the last episode.
Yeah, but I managed to sell those, so I
nice.
sent them. I sold them on eBay, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. So I went and posted them yesterday. But I don't know if have you ever experimented with oxygen for after your?
I haven't. I think I've done it at taken oxygen at festivals and things like that, and
yeah,
that's about it. So go on. What are the gadgets? What are the gadgets you can't live without?
Well, I mean, the one that I think you're buying, the red light stuff, I love. Yeah,
red light.
I was talking.
Yeah.
I went to an event last Sunday. You might have liked it. I went with a friend of mine, and it was 3-part event. So the first part where you were just kind of lying down, intention setting, and there was a little hypnosis woman on the stage, basically hypnotizing 200 people. And the second part was this guy actually from breath pod that I've seen before in festivals, and he's like a breathwork guy. So then we did some breathing exercises, and the last part was a biohacking talk. And the guy who, I think he owns a company called Celerate, and his story was quite interesting. But they're a PEMF device company and red light company, so pulsed electromagnetic field company. And so they had lots of red light boxes for people to use. It's quite small ones, but I was chatting to a few people because I was giving my opinion, having now had 4 devices and 2 boxes, and for the last maybe 4 years. I really like that. I had that on this morning. I have it on when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm doing my rebounding, and I do like the portability of the half units. I know you're buying a full unit because you plan to put it in one place, but I do a full body as well, but I just stack one over the other in different places. But I just like the versatility of having a half body unit.
So have you seen the full exoskeletons that are coming out now, which allow people to lift more by just wearing these full exoskeletons? Like you can lift like 700 kilos and things like that.
Yeah,
I've
seen a few of those things. I'm actually excited for them because, again, like I've mentioned on the show before, my brother-in-law has got this spinal condition, arachnoiditis, which is incurable, and it stops signals being sent down his spine. And so it's really, really hard for me to kind of watch him try to get about because he's in constant pain, which he doesn't talk about. And just trying to see him with his 18-month-old daughter or 11-year-old daughter, and trying to just do the things that we take for granted, just even getting up to grab a spoon from the drawer if he's at the dining table, it's going to take him a lot of effort. And so I'm hoping that at some point, almost like the device that you showed us, where you can just stick something onto your back, and then the exoskeleton type stuff can help support him. But I was looking at this guy had this portable PEMF device. So my brother-in-law has a PEMF mat, a pulsed electromagnetic field mat. The challenge with the mat, although I do like it, is that you have to actively go onto it. And when you've got an 18-month-old and you've got a busy life, it's hard for you to carve out 30 minutes just to lie down and do that. Whereas they have a portable device, which is, not huge, right? It's a disc, maybe this, like maybe 10 centimeters diameter, and a Velcro strap, and you can just strap it to you. It doesn't have to be directly onto your skin. It can be over clothing, and it sends a pulsed electromagnetic field, and you can then wear that for like an hour or even longer, and it'll be the equivalent of doing those sessions. So I was thinking about whether, they're quite expensive as well. They're over £1,000 for this device, and they spent £1,000 on the mat already. So I'm thinking whether we eBay the mat and just swap it for that, because it's all about consistency of use. I mean, you've got loads of devices, but
all similar things. I mean, this is all electrical muscle stimulation stuff, right? Which is good for, as I say, injury recovery and things like that. But listen, I've got a lot of devices I don't use, or they get better, right? So I've got various iterations of what I've got here, and the others are all wires and different things. So I saw this, and I said to the guy, like, it's kind of easy to sell to me, and also difficult in the sense that I've got everything you're offering me already in different places. But this one brings everything together all on different channels, and it's wireless. And we're in a society now where we like wireless, right? So well, I do. You don't necessarily like the frequencies, but
I do. I do and I don't. I mean, I was thinking about this with the face mask I've got, which was a present, but it's wired, and it really, really limits the use because you have to be in one place to use it.
I mean, these are really good for muscle weakness. When you put it on your body, it triggers muscles that you don't always trigger when you're doing weight workouts or running or whatever. So I keep getting little mini pulls and mini strains, hamstrings, calves, back. And I'm hoping it'll just stimulate the smaller muscle fibers just to go, hey, reactivate them, understand they actually do exist in my body and go through. And what was interesting? Go on.
Do you ever do Nordic curls for your hamstrings? You know what a Nordic
I have to, I do. I do sometimes. Quite tricky. I haven't got a Nordic curl type machine in my gym, but I tend to put bands on the bottom rung of my wall ladder, and then I'll lie on the floor and then curl up.
I have like a really strong connective belt sort of thing that I use for my body elastics. I slide that under the door frame, and I only did it yesterday for the first time in ages as part of my boxing hit circuit that I do at home. And I'm just doing it on the way down. So Nordic curl, for those people that are not familiar, is imagine you're on your knees in almost like a prayer position, and your ankles are secured to something, and then you, with a straight as body as you can, you come down to the floor. That's the reverse version, and then the full version is you coming from the floor back up, which is impossible. But you can grade it by starting a little bit higher. Really, really good for strengthening the hamstrings, the knees, and things like that. But really, really hard to do. So
I used to use there's something called a power dot. Again, you can find these things on Amazon about £100, which you can have to, again, similar kind of EMS device, electrical muscle stimulation thing. But it's a lot of hassle, and it's a bit older, and it's like actually only 2 little pads. This has just got way better. So anyway, I'm enjoying it at the minute.
Honestly, but I also sell the other stuff because it was so satisfying selling that oxygen.
Yeah, I should do that.
And selling it, because even if it's not that much money, it just feels like it's going to someone that's going to use it. It's going to get used, and you feel less guilt for buying the new thing.
This is true. Although I put it on my missus' business, and she's going to use it, and recommend it to clients and bits and pieces like that. But the other device I bought, which I threatened to do, which I bought a new version of the smart goggles. I already had the older version. I've now got version 2, which has the blackout.
Oh, did you buy the new ones? Because
I did. They're different, like the new one is better for blackout, but you don't get the same level of like massage as you do on the first one, which I think they've put cushioning on there. I also had feedback saying the other one wasn't that comfortable.
How much are those things now? How much are they?
Well, the version 1, which I probably prefer over version 2, but doesn't have the softness or the blackout, is £75 now, which I think is a steal. The new one's 175. That's full blackout and more comfort. But I think with where they've put all the cushioning in, it's taken away some of the feel of the massage around your eyes and temples.
I'm just wondering, because it was my sister's 50th, not about a month ago. I haven't got her anything yet, and then I was thinking about and I was thinking, hopefully this goes, I don't think she listens to the podcast, but hopefully it goes out after I give it to her. But I was thinking about one of those masks, but I got one for my sister, and I'm not sure, I think she would use it, but she runs it as well a lot. She does a bit of running, but I'm not sure about a recovery device. But I think
it's a wellness device, really. I mean, you link it to loads of mindfulness meditations and stuff.
I like the idea of the TENS type machine for her, but I don't think she would use it. But I think that face thing might be quite good. The eye thing that you're talking about, because I only tried it once for a few minutes when you walk around.
It's the piece of kit I take everywhere with me. That's the first thing I pack. It goes everywhere.
And I'm wondering whether she would use it though, because I bought her things in the past like this. I remember I bought her a while back, years ago now, 10 years ago. I bought her a pillow where you can plug the pillow into your iPod or whatever. Because I was doing a lot of hypnosis overnight, and she would say, well, I can't do it because I've got a partner and you can't just have it playing and loud, and she doesn't want to wear headphones naturally. But then this pillow, you just plugged it in and it would vibrate somehow through the pillow and you'd hear it. But she never used it. And a few other things that I bought. I think for her 40th, I bought her a NutriBullet, which she does use, to be fair. But I was thinking maybe something like that might be quite good, because I know she has stressful job. She's got 3 kids.
You know what?
Stressed.
It's great for anyone that wants a little bit of, either if you're new to meditation or you're new to mindfulness and you want to take that time to zone out. You've got loads of tracks that comes with the app. I mean, you can get the app anyway, but it links to the device. It measures your heart rate at the start of the meditation at the end, so you can see your heart rate naturally drop, which you would do anyway if you just deep breathing, but it's useful. So you've got some real time feedback on the metrics for your heart rate. And you just chill out. And the only negative is the music doesn't play through the device itself. So you have to have your iPhone with you, and it plays through the iPhone speaker and it links to. But they are linked by Bluetooth, so you get you put your favorite program on, it'll play through, and it'll automatically choose the type of massage, the type of heat, the type of pulsing you get based on the meditation that you choose. So some pulse, some circular, so they're all kind of different. And I think it's a great introduction for people that struggle to meditate or struggle to take the time out. You get a massage at the same time, like what's not to like. And on the version 1, doesn't work so well on version 2, but version 1 is really good around the temples, which is like the best bit for me. It's like here, it's so good. And I like that bit. And actually the noise of the motors in the device itself, I find almost like white noise. It kind of sends you into a little bit of a sleep. 20 minutes, I'll end up probably having a 5-minute nap within the 20 minutes I use it.
So of the two, the version 1 and version 2, which which one do you prefer?
Version 2 is more comfortable and has full blackout. That's the main difference, really. Version 1 isn't full blackout, but I mean, you just close your eyes.
Does version 2 play? Because I think like the play.
Neither of them do.
No,
they play music, but you have to play it through your phone.
Right. Okay. Yeah, or through the headphone.
It's not the version 2 is not worth the £100 differential in cost for a little bit more comfort and for full blackout. That's my. I mean, I've bought it. I find that they're kind of slightly different. I take the version 2 on an aeroplane where you want blackout and trying to escape yourself from the world, but when I'm at home and I can just black out my room or whatever, I'm probably better for version 1 when you get a slightly better kind of eye and head massage, if you like, at the same time. I think if you're someone who gets stressed as I do at work and everything else, it's just that opportunity to de-stress.
How long do you put it on for? Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like
that? They range from sort of 4 minutes up to about 20. I think the longest one is 20 minutes.
Okay.
I usually pick like a 7-minute or 14-minute kind of chill out.
So I don't want to get anything that she's not going to use, but I think maybe she might use something like that. The other thing I thought would be a face mask, because although she might find that a bit insulting, like you're turning 50,
here's some infrared.
Yeah, but having said that, like you were asking me what prompted it, what things I would not want to do without. Obviously the blender and the juicer I've got, which I love, but the red light was what I answered, and I really feel so good on the red light each morning, like compared to where I start. I feel like there's a noticeable difference. Whether that's placebo or not, I don't think so. But so have you got your red light yet? Have you got?
I haven't yet. I'll tell you what. Actually, I've got some vouchers to spend on Amazon, like 300-400 quid's worth. Well, I thought it was Amazon. It has Amazon on the front of these voucher cards as one of the retailers. You got to use it, and Amazon is no longer listed. So it's really frustrating. Like I've got these vouchers that the person that bought them for me very kindly wouldn't have known. You go through to use these things and you can't actually use it on Amazon. So a little bit frustrating. So I need to find somewhere else to use it. But I'm still tempted because I do my workouts in front of a wall where a red light could be easily positioned and I could get the benefit. But I'm enjoying the, as I say, the cold plunging. That's kind of my thing at the minute. I'm down to 8 degrees now on a regular basis.
I'm not going to get that for her. But
no,
but that's really good. I bought another wetsuit the other day in Brighton. I bought a shorty, so like shorts, and because I think the other day, and I wore that in the water with my like kind of thermal base layer on the top, and it was nice and comfortable. I mean, the water now has gone up anyway; it's like 13 degrees. So I was in there for 15 minutes, very comfortable. I still feel a little bit like I've cheated by not doing it, but really, I'm not necessarily going in for the cold therapy, but more for the wake up therapy. And you still get that initial shock as well. So, which is regulating the breathing and regulating that kind of thing. And you just feel good from being in the water. So I'm not too ashamed to say that I'm wearing the shorty wetsuit when I do go in at the moment, but I'll be scaling that back a little bit as it gets a bit warmer.
So a few things have changed. So you're on a running journey now. You started your running. You're now doing your cold water dips with your shorty. I'm drinking water. Who would have imagined with this giant monstrosity of a thing? But it's good. It's satiated my appetite somewhat, which is probably not a bad thing because the weight was piling on. I've got my hydrogen water bottle, which you'll be pleased to see here, which I don't know if there's any real benefits, but the water tastes nicer. Got my my Hideow EMS 10s machine, which is new.
That I like the idea of. I have to say,
it is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool.
You'll have to let me know. And does how does it just stick onto the body? And do you have to replace the pads every now?
You have to replace the pads. They say they last about 30 efforts. I've been using it now. Well, these pads have been used probably 5 times. They feel like new at the moment, but I'm sure that it's right. But you can get them on Amazon, like a pack of 30 for next to nothing from an unbranded thing. As long as they click in, it's not a problem. So not too fussed about that.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Let us know how you get on with that. I think I saw something similar on Dragon's Den. Can't remember what the name of the product was. It was doing something.
I literally to travel. If I just wanted to, all I have to do is carry that. So easy. And
so how many things has it got? It's got those ones. It's got the big one for the back. And then...
Yeah, it's big ones for the back. Ones you can put around your quads. One you can put around your arms. It's got. I haven't even explored them all yet. It's got long pads, thin pads. Yeah, I mean two. I've only got 2 channel devices. So I can set 4 up at any one time at the moment. But you can buy additional wires to set up more channels, whatever cost. I don't know what they are. But so 4 for me at the minute. But it's got up to 8 channels on the device, so I think you have up to 16 if you really want to be brave.
One thing actually I have got that I really should sell, but I don't think I'll be able to because it's a little bit broken, the clip, is, I think, have we ever talked about heart math? I can't remember if we talked about it briefly.
We have in the past, yeah.
But there was a device that you put onto your earlobe, and it was the only device that you could use with their app to actually measure your heart coherence. I don't know why you couldn't do it with a chest strap or anything like that. It was quite expensive. I think maybe like £130 for this little device that clips onto your ear, and it sort of hangs off, and then there's like a clip so you can clip it onto your clothing. That clip has broken, but I don't really use it anymore. I did it a while back just to see when I was meditating whether I went into a coherent state or not. And interestingly, it really depended on the meditation. Like if I did like a regular four breathing type meditation, which I do through this meditations that I really like called the Vortex, Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks, Esther Hicks anyway. It's called Getting into the Vortex for those that want to look it up. And what I like about it is it has a very nice rhythm in the background, and it's a 4-part breath. So it's like in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, a little bit slower than that. But what I noticed when I do that, and I was wearing that device, I would get into coherence really easily. But when I was doing, say, one of Deepak and Oprah's 21-day meditation challenges, I wasn't, or if I was doing like obviously a chanting meditation, which sometimes I do, then I was more erratic with it. So I found it quite useful. So anyone, doing heart math, it's quite nice. It's basically an idea of getting your brain waves and your heart waves into a pattern together. So that device I don't use anymore, but I'm not sure.
I know you live for your Aura ring because you talk about that quite a lot on the episode on the show, and I obviously live for my Garmin Fenix 8, which I use as my fitness device. The other thing I haven't mentioned, which I've used today, so I'm pretty good. I don't use it every day. I should. I've moved places, but I have used it today and I've used it yesterday. Which is I've got a NeuroSim, which is made by Parasim, which is a non-invasive neuromodulation device that kind of sits on the inner of your ear here, and it stimulates the vagal nerve. So it's that's really good. It's again not inexpensive. It's supposed to be really good for anxiety, which I don't really suffer from anyway, but it's good for fatigue, for boosting energy, for stabilizing your HRV.
How big is
Tiny.
it? The size of a
tiny. Just clips here. Just clips. Really small little, almost like a paper type clip that clips on.
How
stimulates
much that might be asking? I'm just trying to see if that would be.
Supposed to use it every. How much was it?
Yeah.
They're not inexpensive. I'll tell you what, I'll do a little Google search. I'll come back to you in a minute. But I've got that. But the 2 main benefits for it, really, or 3: anxiety if you struggle, which I don't. But normalize your HRV, helps to boost energy, and it really improves your sleep quality. It also supports digestive health and anything that helps with cognitive function because of the vagus nerve piece, which obviously is what cold therapy also does. And it's the only one that's fully approved, been loads of science behind it, and it's often recommended by providers. I think I paid around £500 for it.
Okay, yeah, that's too much for the birthday present, and also
good for well-being.
That's a device that is not really, I think, an entry point device for someone that doesn't.
No, it's not. I think if you struggle, like I have, I say I don't really struggle from insomnia anymore, right? So that's one of the things that helped me recover and not need medication for it. I use that, and it's really had a massive impact on. Well, I believe it's had a massive impact on improving my sleep quality. So when I use it, because I'm jet lagged, so I've used it today. You see, in my head, I'm straight into don't want to get into medication. I'm struggling with sleeplessness when I got back. I'm jet lagged. I'll use the NeuroSim, and that will just re-regulate my circadian rhythm and my vagus nerve and calm everything down. Because often a lot of sleeplessness is down to stress or overactive thinking, and really calms it down. So yeah, not an inexpensive way of recovering from something like insomnia, but it's been really helpful for me. And it says loads of stuff.
Well, I mean, if it improves HRV, I'd be curious because I obviously have the objective measure of the Oura ring, and I'm the thing that improves my HRV the most that I've identified really is earlier eating, which I'm probably not going to do today because I haven't had dinner yet. But eating earlier tends to be the thing that improves my HRV. But I am curious to see whether running will eventually improve it. I think in the short term it will be more of a hit, but I'd like to see if it improves that. And also, at the moment, it says my cardiovascular age is 8 years younger than what I am. But I'd like to sort of see, ideally I want it 20 years younger, not 8 years younger.
Well, a very brief look here. It says in a clinical trial, a 1 hour session with Neurosim has been it was found to improve all parameters of HRV, indicating activation of self-repair mechanisms in the body. And there's more science links you can go through. So that's the link here. Again, it's just something useful if you're doing a lot of exercise. It's quite handy to try and get your HRV sort of normalized. But the other thing is, I had my first MRI, so I haven't got the results of my heart test yet. I'm still waiting. Funnily enough, was supposed to have it done before I went away, and the hospital had a power cut. So didn't get it done, but I've had it done. Interesting experience. But that was actually, so when I drove back from my flight, I drove straight to the hospital. So I got there having been jet lagged and been on the car for over 5 hours, straight into my appointment. And literally I was inside. You have these, if you haven't done it before, you wear these headphones, you get all these like noises, you have to hold your breath. I was struggling to stay awake in this thing. They were like, we've never had someone actually fall asleep. I was so tired and jet lagged. I was in there just sort of dozing off. And then you had this sort of hitting your ear. It'll wake you up again. Oh, hold your breath. Okay, I'm trying. I'm going to fall back asleep. But I'm waiting for the results, so I'll have those come through shortly.
Is that a full body MRI? Was that, or was that?
No, a full cardiac MRI. So all aspects of the heart. They inject me with a dye to see what's going on with the valves and the heart and everything else. And, get results. I'm not anticipating anything major, but I think it's.
These things sometimes happen. I think, like I went in. I remember years ago I went in for something. I can't remember what it was, and I think this was when I had that breathing issue maybe a few years ago. But I went in for something, and then they noticed something else on my. I can't remember what it was, whether it was on my liver or my kidneys.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to do an MRI, and they put a dye in, and it was this dye. I don't know if it was the same with you, where it makes you feel like you want to go to the toilet. Was that?
It didn't for me. I don't think it did. I was probably fast.
It's a weird sensation. It feels like you don't actually urinate, but it feels like there's something weird going on. And I can't actually remember the results of all that. I think they noticed something, but it was like, I don't know. I think actually maybe the conclusion was I had this condition, Gilbert syndrome, or something.
Prevention is better than cure, isn't it? I mean, that's what I'm hoping.
About you the other day, because I opened my drawer and I saw a bunch of these ICL tests in there.
Yeah, they're good. Did it inspire you to have a little test?
I did one. Must be 6 months ago now, so maybe I'm due another one, but I can't remember what are they for again? Is it?
It's for, well, basically it identifies as any microscopic blood in your urine, which can be a sign for things like prostate cancer or other problems.
And of course,
naked eye.
Diagnosis for Joe Biden. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, early diagnosis is key, right? And obviously, I lost my dad to prostate cancer. He didn't diagnose quick enough. So, for the sake of an ICL test, which we use, do it every 6 months, get an idea if there's nothing else going on. But it could be a sign for other cancers, not just prostate cancer. It could be bowel cancer or something else. So, men don't check themselves enough for any kind of cancer. So, it's just one of those safeguards, those guardrails we put into our lives to make sure we're okay.
Well, I can't remember when I last tested, but it must be at least 6 months ago because I haven't done it this year. So.
Well, good place to round off, mate. Go get yourself. There's much more important. Go get yourself tested. Check you're all clear. Celebrate. My MRI is for the same reason. I went in for my hernia. Then they realised I wouldn't have the op because my blood pressure was too high. Yeah. So they put me on 24-hour blood pressure monitoring, and then they realised I had a problem with my heart when they listened, and it's all gone down this all because I went in for my hernia op. So
how was your injuries? Training and stuff? Are you back
constant? I am back to mild fitness. I did a short 8K run this morning, which was just about as much as my body could take at the minute. But yeah, hamstring pulls, calf pulls. I don't want to get another one. Hamstrings are notorious for going again and again, so I'm taking it very easy, very slow by my usual standards. I'm probably not similar to you at the minute, Harry. I expect walk and run and ease it back slowly. But
it's a good strategy because, like, in that Walk Plus, I think you get a good workout because you might do some push-ups, you might do some lunges, you might do some shuffle runs and backwards running, and you do all these other things, and actually you get probably a better workout in than just running.
The doctor also said, like, don't go and be really extreme until we get the results of this stuff. Like, just as a matter of caution, exercise by all means, but like, don't go and do an Ironman when we're in the middle of a heart cardiac assessment. It doesn't really make sense. So he's probably right on that front. Get the all clear, then go like the clappers. So I should hear from them in a week or so. So we'll see.
All right. Well, yeah, keep us posted, dude. All right. Well, an interesting, fun talk on many of our gadgets that we like.
Yeah.
As ever. I'm going to look into the hydrogen water. And the other thing was Neurosim, was it?
Neurosim.
I'll look at that. I think
made by Parasim. Very simple looking device. You wonder how so much science can be fit. And even when you use it, you're kind of going, I'm sure that someone else could create a very much cheaper equivalent for this, but I'm assuming it's at some frequency, however it works. I'm trusting the science. There's a lot of scientific studies behind this device, so do take a look.
Okay.
And it is the same device that they give at hospitals for certain people with certain ailments. So
Neurosim by Parasim. Okay, I'll Google that in a moment actually, and then I don't think I'll be purchasing just yet. I think the next purchase will be the hydrogen water bottle of some sort. So we'll see.
I don't think you need to spend 100 quid. I think I spent like 40 quid on mine.
I know. I just from what I'm researching, some of these cheaper brands might be leaching some of the stuff into it that you don't want, and a few other things that I'm looking at.
If you are looking at the Neurosim, it might lead you down the rabbit hole of looking at vagus nerve stimulation. There's a lot of benefits around that. And,
we can have a free one for everyone listening. If you want to stimulate your vagus nerve, you hum or singing or even pounding your chest. But
or cold water plunges, same difference.
Yeah,
so it has to be over the neck.
Yeah, all of this stuff we'll do the stuff for your vagus nerve. So humming is a really good one, like just something like that. So there we go.
To be honest, that's a pretty similar sensation to what you get when you put the device on. You put it on your ear, and it's that kind of humming that happens. You don't make the sound effect. You know that vibration. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yeah,
that's basically I mean, all of these technologies are shortcuts to what we could do a lot of the time naturally, because like your cold water bath thing, go in the sea. My infrared light thing, just go out in the morning and in the evening. It's all mostly
hacks, really, because we don't have the time or the resources to do it. No, I get it.
We have the money at the time. All right,
good to connect. Have a good week, and we look forward to bringing the listeners next episode soon. This is just a real chill out catch up and a little bit of a chit chat about some of the gadgets we've been investing in. But Harry is currently wearing his. I'm drinking one of mine. I'm going to put the other one back on now and go and chill out in the other room with my hideout.
I'll be putting my compression trousers on as well later. That I've been doing a lot now that I'm starting to run again. Those air pressure things, they're really good. So
you've got a pair. Good lad.
Yeah.
All right, I've got those as well. They're very good. All right, we better go. All right, buddy. Good to see you. All the best.
Bye bye.